Hey listeners, you're listening to the Midnight Readers podcast. Grab some tea, a midnight snack, and cuddle up in bed as we dive deep into today's most popular fantasies, sci-fi, and mysteries. We're your hosts. I'm Lily.
I'm Brittany.
And I'm Christy.
This season, we're stepping into 3 standalone worlds. Right now, we're diving into an epic fantasy about ambition, power, and the cost of breaking into a system that was never built for you. That's right, grab your spellograph. We're headed to Tehran.
In a city where magic fuels progress and prestige determines worth, brilliance isn't enough. You have to fight for recognition and listen to this podcast. Welcome to a world of arcane research, political maneuvering, and the kind of ambition that doesn't just want a seat at the table, it wants to flip it over. What?
That sounded great. I'm just laughing at the fact we always have and listen to this podcast. Okay. In this episode, we'll be discussing Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wang, chapters 1 through 5, where we meet an extremely ambitious scholar trying to enter a prestigious magical institution with some very questionable policies, and a hardworking janitor who is more than meets the eye.
Before we get into it, this is your warning for major spoilers ahead. That includes all 3 standalone novels we'll be covering this season and any fan discussions we find online. We're also avid fans of the Moss universe and might accidentally let spoilers slip for other popular romantasy book series as well. Sorry in advance, like the books, this podcast is rated R, so be warned.
Also, a friendly reminder to please like, subscribe, and follow. You can find us on Instagram, Threads, Facebook, and YouTube. And if you want some bonus content and behind-the-scenes chaos, join our growing community on Patreon. You switched it up on me, you devil.
I feel like we should leave that whole intro as is.
Oh, man.
All right. So we're starting this season off strong, in my opinion, with this book.
We are.
A quick warning, though, the topics that we discuss in these about this book may be triggering to some, so just be aware of that. And let's get into it. So
It sure fucking triggered me.
Right off the bat, I want to go ahead and say the audiobook narrator, because, you know, I always listen to the audiobook, is Moira Kirk. She's British, and she read books like Gideon the Ninth and this steampunk alternative Victorian era book series that I love. And so I really enjoy her, and she did not disappoint in this. Although I thought it was interesting that she gave the Kwen Scottish accents.
Their Scottish accent?
Yeah, I was like, she had me questioning whether or not she was British or Scottish at the beginning, and I was just like, okay. But also the dedication to the DNF crew?
Yeah, I thought that was a bit odd. I thought, doesn't that mean did not finish?
Exactly. I was like, what does this mean? Am I supposed to look more into this? Like,
I really don't know. Maybe she meant to the people that made her work harder. I don't know. Maybe.
Anyway, we start off with chapter 1 with a bang, I guess. Yeah. It was brutal. Like, it was a very intense way to start this book.
Yeah.
And with the blurb, like, I already knew he had lost his tribe, but I didn't I still felt like, oh my God, they can still make it across the lake. And what if it's not every member that he lost, which he didn't. He managed to save his niece. But I was just like devastated. And to start this chapter off with a field of flowers, that sounds all pretty and nice and shit.
Yeah, I agree. I felt like I was really rooting for these people from the beginning. Like, I immediately was like, oh my God, at least a few of them can make it through. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I did not think all of them would die.
Yeah. I did kind of expect his sister and his brother-in-law to die. Just for trauma purposes.
Yeah, I kind of expected the sister, based on the way she's described as kind of a mother figure, kind of a safe haven for him.
But for every single one, his entire tribe. Nobody.
And the descriptors of the kids dying.
Oh, yeah.
That was so rough.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And so they live out in this world that they are plagued by something they call the blight. And it is not only just killing them, but it's killing the animals, destroying the land. And so literally they have to cross this lake in order to get to the city of Tehran in order for safety, because they have some kind of magical barrier that keeps the blight out.
Mm-hmm.
But
it does make you question, as you read through these first few chapters and you learn that Tehran has this barrier and they've had it for however long, it makes me wonder how long they've had the barrier and other people haven't. Because the Kwen, as we learn in the first chapter, they used to be a tribe of thousands of people, and there's only 40 left when you start the book. And that is such a crazy jump. It makes you wonder, what's the timeline here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
because how long has Tehran existed?
I don't think they've said.
I don't know. It seems like a long time, but why do I feel like it wasn't as long as it seems to be indicated? Because the way we end up hearing from Sciona, she can recount quite a bit of history, but there's only up to 10 generations of one of the characters. So I guess we have at least that to go off of, like how many generations of mages, perhaps, like maybe a couple hundred years.
Yeah, I don't know, but this scene did, like when they first introduced the blight, I was like, okay, so there's some sickness that's going on, and then they're like, wait, is the blight intelligent?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, it's a strip of light that then rips people apart in the most brutal way possible?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the way that it's described as flowers on the lake is really horrifying.
Yeah.
It is quite an image.
Yeah.
Quite an image. And I was like, way to devastate us right out of the gate. But the world building here, for this being, literally one chapter so far, is pretty good. And I was into it. I like it when a story starts from the get-go.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally agree.
The author doesn't feel like there's any excess verbiage.
Mm-hmm.
That it's just like bare bones, but in a really good way.
It's crazy that I agree with you, because it's like there's just enough information that it builds this world out, but it's not excessive and it's not minimal. Like there's so much in this first chapter that we learn, but it doesn't feel like you're reading pages and pages of excessive info.
Yeah.
I would compare it to The Hobbit. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever read The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Sometimes The Hobbit, when you're reading that book, it feels like, oh my God, like this is just information I don't need.
Oh,
Sorry to the LOTR fans.
Oh, yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I like LOTR, and I also like The Hobbit. Some writers are just more flowery, but I'm just amazed at how succinct the writing is.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite epic fantasy series is written by Michael J. Sullivan. And when I first started reading the book, I mean, granted, it was all necessary, but it was just he was playing the long game. But I struggled when it first started. And so I like that. And again, it's really good. You should definitely read it. But I liked that there was action with the world building, and it felt like we were going somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's organic. The all of it goes into a place that still, you learn about it as you go.
Yeah. But it leaves you wanting more. Like it's just not quite enough to.
Yeah.
And so Thomil and his niece, Kara, make it across the barrier. She is unconscious because she got hit by the blight, but they did say it left a crescent-shaped scar on her face, and I was like, I wonder, because this blight seems magical. I wonder if it will leave some magical mark on her as well.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. And I also was like, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm curious to see what will happen with her character.
I am too, because I'm still waiting to meet her, but I was grieving for the loss of their culture at the end of the first chapter. I was like, oh my God, I can't even. She makes you care about the characters in just like a handful of pages.
A handful of sentences. Like,
yeah.
He had to listen to, the first boy that died who was orphaned last winter. And the last friend that he ever had in childhood. And the guy who knew all the tribe stories and songs we lost him. And it was just like one blow after another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the thing is that, he is intercepted, I guess, by 2 guards. At least I'm assuming they're guards. And they call him Blighter, which gave me some
immediate recognition of, oh, I see what this is going to be.
Yeah. And
it's not quite tit for tat. My mind went to racism, but it's not racism, it's classism.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit racism too.
But we don't know their race. It's like xenophobia more than racism.
Yeah.
Because we don't know if it's really a race thing. They don't describe
it
them
feels
by their...
like a people who were born inside the city versus people who were born outside of the city. And that feels very racial in a way.
It can, yeah. I understand that. But once I thought about it, I was like, oh, this is class struggle. This is like xenophobia is fear of outsiders.
Yeah.
So I think my mind went there too. But I was like, actually, it's not even that. It's to me, it's almost like it's anyone that's not them.
Yes. Because he says the name of his tribe is like the Caldonites or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're the Kwen as a generalization.
Right.
So that's kind of where I was like, maybe that's where the race is.
Mm-hmm.
But they also did mention that there is a space shortage. And they were literally just going to throw him back until he was able to say in their language that he could work.
Yeah. And they have guns.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
yeah,
they have guns.
Guns and pavement and machinery and all these things that are all magically powered.
Yeah, and he has to claim that his niece is his daughter because their religion forbids them from separating parent from child, which I think is really interesting to start off with.
But that's kind of odd, though. I had forgotten about that part because later on with, how did you say the main character's name?
Sciona or Thomil? Sciona or something like that.
Not how I was saying it. I'm not going to tell you how I was saying it. I move right past that. But for Sciona, when she kind of talks about with her background, that seems odd that separating from your child would.
Right, because we know that her father is technically still alive.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, that's where that got a little confusing because I was like, she took her mom's name. Does he know that she's his child? Or
it seems implied that that they do know each other because she seems to have some ill will towards him. So
yeah,
and I do feel like it's you can't take my child away from me if I want to keep them. And not a child and parent has to be together all the time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who else? Or am I the only one that thought Sciona was the little girl?
I wondered that, but since she has a different name and she's not described as like having the mark on her face, I tossed that away.
And then with Thomil too, he didn't recognize her.
She's also green-eyed, and I believe that Thomil is supposed to eventually be her love interest, so you
right.
Yeah.
That was my I know I asked you for laughs, but let's not go there. I don't want to rehash of residence. But I would like to know more about their religion because they are a theocracy, and we do get a little bit in, I think, chapter 4 about the different branches of their religion, but it does seem to be revolving around Leon.
Yeah, he seems to be the first. We don't get a lot about it in the first 5 chapters, but I was writing down as much as I could. I was like, okay, I'm zeroing in on this because their whole society is kind of based on their writings, including their magic. So,
yeah.
And the Kwen have their own gods as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That I'm sure that they're not allowed to worship because that's how theocracy works.
Right. Exactly. Well, the funny thing too is like that initial quote, I think it's from the first chapter, that truth over delusion, growth over comfort, God over all, was so stupid. I mean, don't get me wrong. Truth over delusion, absolutely. Growth over comfort, absolutely. But then they go on to show that all of that is just complete and utter bullshit within that society.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like God is at the forefront of their thoughts while they're operating, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But when is he or she?
Or they.
Or they.
Or they.
Okay, so let's talk about Sciona. She is about to head out to her exam, and she has so much pressure on her. She's on the train with her friend Alba, and she's talking about how literally if she fails, she will be the proof that women can't.
It's a lot of pressure.
Do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has the hopes of an entire gender on her shoulders. And yes, as Alba pointed out, that may not matter to Sciona so much, but it's still there.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, she recognizes the value of her getting in there, not just for herself, but for a generation of women.
Yeah. And I do have to say I don't know if I'm going to like Alba or her aunt.
Oh, yeah. I don't like Winnie. No.
Winnie is a little annoying. I could see Alba being helpful. When Alba is her cousin technically, but I guess they were raised as sisters. I did kind of appreciate that she was like, girl, get your head out of your ass, because when Sciona is talking about like how much she cares about the future of women, Alba's like, be so for real. You don't even remember people's names. Like,
but to be fair, so do I cannot. I am horrible at names. I'm horrible at faces. I'm fairly
It goes
good.
further than that. Like, Sciona is
she
ignoring
doesn't
people.
care. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they are inconsequential to her.
Yeah. I will say.
I mean,
no, they were.
When I am focused, like people don't exist for me unless you're important. So, I'm
just saying, one of the things about Sciona as a female main character, she is flawed. She is very into herself and her work, and everything outside of that is secondary. And I think that can be a good and a bad thing. I think it's great because she's realistic. She's a character that is like, oh, that's a real person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But on the other end, it's like frustrating to read her sometimes. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I did have a small little rant that is a personal thing, but I'm going to say it. So when she was talking to Alba, she's like, okay, if I fail this, I have to get a real job. That she promised Winnie she would get a real job. And I was like, excuse me? A real job? Like, do you know how many times people have said that to me in my life? Like, oh, even if when I worked at Domino's or at Wendy's, why don't you get a real job? Or better yet, a career. Why don't you get a career? Because the idea that you don't work in a certain field or a certain job or a certain career makes you beneath other people, and they get to talk down to you. And I'm just like,
oftentimes work that women do is not a real career or a real profession, or it's belittled. It's like people around me used to say, oh, you don't want to work at the library forever. Like, actually, I do.
Yeah. And And it is one of the reasons why I never sat down and wrote my novel, because I was told over and over again, you need to be realistic. And yes, it is a hard industry to break into, but they are like, you need to get a real job. You need to, they tell you as kids you can be anything. And then they're like, but you need to be realistic and fall into little boxes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the beginning of her experience that we see of people belittling her for who she is as a woman. And it starts at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. And being a proper lady, that pissed me off every time it showed up.
I hated that. And wearing the dress, that really bothers me. I hate, you know what? I don't think I talked about that on the other one. I hate main characters that wear dresses. Now, here's the thing. If you love dresses and you like the freedom down there, whatever that may be, I'm all for it. 100% behind it.
To each their own.
But when you're wearing it so that you can be a proper female.
Yeah.
Then
I agree.
Hate that.
I very much am a woman who does not feel comfortable in a dress, and they were always forced on me. And
same.
Yeah. But okay, so again with the world building about how she described this building with the mural on the ceiling and the giant statues. Like I am seeing this in my head. It is wow. And the view of the city.
Mm-hmm.
I am really liking this author and her writing style, and I'm definitely probably going to go pick up The Sword of Kaigen, however you say it.
Reminds me, the city reminds me so much of Arcane, the show. It's
nice.
Very steampunky, magic meets tech, very similar.
Yeah. It also kind of reminded me of Crescent City because their tech was also powered by magic.
Yeah, that's true.
But all right. So she goes in for this test. We find out that there are only 100 high mages allowed and 12 archmages. And I was just like, I feel kind of shitty for thinking this, but like, I know that's how the real world works, but you only allow 100? Like, what if you let in some shitty person, like, what's his face that you let in, and you miss out on a good high mage?
Well, that kind of happens.
Yeah.
In the first 5.
I was like, why would you let talent fall by the wayside, especially when you are short space and you need to work on these things? Why would you ever limit it?
If you needed to protect a secret.
I wonder what secret they knew.
I don't know. It feels like something's going on. It feels like there's something there, and you would have to make it a smaller circle because the bigger you get, the more likely it is to get out. Even with the story of Sabernin, is that how it's said? What? The traitor.
What?
Sabernin, the traitor mage.
Oh, she mentions him briefly.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's something that's going to come back, that we're going to find out something else. It may be whatever secret it is that they've got that he knew.
Interesting. I totally missed that.
It is mentioned briefly when she's talking about, she mentions a handful of mages that are known for certain things, and Sabernin is one of them.
That's a good catch. I also think that what's going to come back is she talks about the staffs are for wartime.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And wands and other kind of objects are made are used for pre-written spells, which I'm wondering, like, what I want to know how much this works, because this magic system is very, like, when I was reading it or listening to it, I was like, this is coding.
Oh, yeah, it's programming.
This is absolutely coding. And
it's straight up just programming. I was showing Johan, I was like, check this out. And he was like, yeah, that's pretty similar. The if then statement. Yeah. It's like math and programming.
Yeah, I almost texted you and be like, Johan needs to read this book. It's
I was saying that too.
Coding as magic.
Like, also, Johan loves Arcane, and I was like, babe, you gotta read this. It's so good.
And then they have this object that is, I guess, like a typewriter called a spellograph,
mm-hmm.
which typewriters are kind of important, I guess. I don't know. They play a significant role in my family. So I've always been in love with typewriters, but my grandpa used to fix them. And so we have like a memorial typewriter to him in our house.
Oh, cute.
And so I've always been fascinated with typewriters. And so I love that this is being used as the conduit to write these programming spells.
Yeah. It's really interesting. I mean, we get so much information about this world, like right off the bat. I mean, the spellograph surprised me. I was just, everything so far was like, wow, this is so interesting.
Yeah, I don't think I've read a book with a magic system like this. So
yeah, I don't think I have either.
I love the uniqueness of it.
Mm-hmm. They're also all identified by their robes. So like they have colors that identify them, which I guess makes sense, but I always hated that, the hierarchy of it all.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of hierarchy. Never have been. What did y'all think of the test? Because I just wanted to scream.
Oh, yeah. Watching her have to sit through this piece of shit, Jaren Mordrin, fail terribly in front of his father and 11 other archmages. And her being like, oh, I can do that. You know what I mean? Like,
and the archmages going, oh, just try it again. It's fine.
It's fine. It's not, just give it another shot, just babying him. And then it comes around to her turn and they give her trial after trial after trial, just trying to make it harder to kick her out.
Almost the max amount of prompts that they can give, just trying to make her fail. And I guarantee you, if she would have failed just one of them,
oh yeah,
she would have been out.
Yep. And it shows you right there, it wasn't that women were failing because it was a difficult thing for women to do. It's because the odds are stacked against them. They don't want them there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that's why Brigham had her do the same spell that Mordra fucked up.
Yeah.
Because then if she does a spell and he can't, and he wasn't able to, then blatantly if they accept him and not her, that there is...
They have to.
An issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then there was that one guy who was like, well, she obviously got an advantage because she saw him do it and then copied him.
Yeah.
Except she got all of the other ones right. Like, clearly it is not that.
Well, even one of the archmages were like, actually, she did it in a completely different way than the other dude. And she did it correctly. So he didn't. He blew shit up.
Yep.
I was very happy that she at least has one mage on her side. Dareth Brigham. I'm gonna assume he's a good guy. I want him to be good. You know what I mean?
know,
like,
right?
Yeah.
He was hyping her up.
Every time
like
he
a good
did
guy.
something that was like a decent human being, like, oh, don't you do that? Where you think that he's going to say, don't cry. And he's like, don't give me credit.
Yeah.
Every time he did that, I'm like,
you held your breath.
Are you going to turn out to be a horrible person? Because I love you right now. And I feel like you're going to break my heart.
Or is he going to die?
Or that.
I do not want that. We also learned that she, at the beginning of the test, that she got into her class on scholarship. So it's like, not only did she have the odds stacked against her, like, she's winning. She's doing everything right at every step. And even then, they were like,
yeah.
Oh, but it looks like you actually went to this other school, though.
You went to public school? Like, I'm sorry.
Not very prestigious. Like, girl. Ooh, I have never... Archmage Duris, who is the one that made her do the ridiculous cauldron spell, eat a fucking dick, you piece of shit. I have never wanted to get inside a book and strangle someone the way that I've wanted to.
Side note, I said the same thing in the notes. I wrote that he can suck it, but it autocorrect changed it to Siri. So it says Siri can suck it.
Oh my god.
I just noticed it. was like,
Poor
what?
Siri.
Why is Siri there?
Yeah, him
Yeah.
and what's the other guy's name that ends up being her like rival? I can't remember his name. He worked for Brigham.
Rentbone or something?
Rentfold
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Renfold. No, he's the one.
Renthorn.
Renthorn?
Yeah.
Oh. And
Yeah, that bitch.
the fact that, okay, so when they put the cauldron down, this 1,000-pound cauldron that she was supposed to lift, the guy goes, so you've been using a tame, let's say, womanly amount of energy. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Did you say that to the other guys? Did you make the other guys lift a 1,000-pound cauldron?
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Like, are you fucking kidding me?
I will at least say one of the archmages, Gamwen, he was clearly like, oh, she seems to know what she's doing. Like, he gives her the credit and he's like, Duris, we don't have to put her through this. Like, she's already proved herself. And he's like, no, this is my last prompt. Like, we're gonna do it. And the head archmage is like, yeah, sure, let him do it. And it's like, everyone else sees what she's doing. This guy is just an asshat.
Yeah. Not to mention there was that test that was completely out of her field.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. She had to do alchemy, which is not her major or her specialty. And that's not how these fucking work.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if you went to defend your thesis on fucking the history of England and someone said, now give me an answer about the Meiji era of Japan. And you'd be like, okay, like, I just...
Or even, can you please dissect this frog? That is so out of left field that I was like, this is a whole even different subject. Because...
Literally.
But I think that's the point.
Oh, and it's definitely the point. Definitely the point was to try and make her fail. Or kill her in the process.
Yeah. Well, especially for women, because now you've put them in a lose-lose situation because they fail because they can't, that's not their area of expertise. Any of the guys would have failed it too. However, she can't go out and say, well, it wasn't fair. They did this to me because now it's going to sound even worse, even though she would be complete legit in saying that.
Oh, yeah. You're just making excuses.
Right. Of why you can't do it. Oh, we got to do a special thing for you so that you can get in. No, I just need you to treat me the same.
Yep. And she can't react emotionally because then they'd be like, oh, she's not ready for this. She's too emotional for the position. She would blow up at any moment. Ugh.
Even though the men, Duris, are highly emotional and reactive.
Acting like children. As we're watching her try to lift this literally 1,000-pound cauldron, we're just reading this page like, are you fucking serious? That kid whose dad is here, he barely could light something on fire.
Yeah, and he gets chosen.
Yeah, he still gets the job. Yep. We also...
I wanted to be like when they were talking about that exploding bridge that happened. I wanted to be like, yeah, and that's why we have exploding bridges. Because we have legacy hires. We have nepotism.
Yep. And you know what's so weird to me? To me, you know, a lot of what's emphasized in this first 5 chapters is the culture that she's entering, right?
Yes.
Even the eyes of these people are all the same. Like, the statues all have peridot stones for eyes because they all have green eyes.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want some kind of diversity in your culture to strengthen you?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want different viewpoints, different people? I don't understand why you would want everyone to think the same. You will never progress.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Yeah, you can't grow as a people if you continue to think the same way over and over and over and reject ideas that are different.
Reminds me so much of something that America is doing right now that rhymes with Tyrann. Anyways, that's not what this podcast is about. Moving on.
I mean, you aren't wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say this. The blurb, while it did give away that that his tribe didn't make it, and it didn't take away from the hurt and
Yeah.
the tension there.
Yeah.
I wish they would have kind of glossed over the fact that she got in, because I wish there would have been a little bit more tension involved in that.
What do you mean?
Like, I knew her going in, even though she had that especially since she has that moment of, oh my god, I failed because I went against the Archmage's orders.
Oh yeah,
I knew that wasn't going to be a factor because she got in. It says so right there in the blurb.
Right.
And so I wish they would have glossed over that a little bit more than just straight up telling us from the beginning.
Oh, I see.
I was a little bit pissed that she didn't even go into the waiting chamber, that she just went ahead and she was going to leave. She
assumed. Yeah.
She didn't even go in there to, even if she knew she wasn't going to get chosen, you still show up. You still go in.
I mean, she was thinking that she just majorly failed, though. I mean, I kind of get it. She didn't want to cry in front of them.
Yeah,
I get that.
It did remind me of the story I told y'all about my calculus final, where I took it and I knew I failed. I just knew it. And so I drove to Walmart and stood in front of the candy aisle. Like,
oh, yeah.
I need this.
I mean, I do understand where she's coming from, but yeah, I was like, go back out there. But
yeah. I mean, you have to see things through. So I loved Alba's reaction, though, to it, where she was like, she did it! She did it!
Yeah.
Oh my god, she did it! She's like celebrating,
she was so excited,
more than Sciona.
Yeah. She was like hugging the secretary. She was like,
we just made history, yeah!
I could just see them hugging and like jumping like awkwardly, like, oh my god!
Yes,
like,
yes, yeah. And then Winnie ruins it, like literally the next chapter when she's about to head off to work, and everybody is so proud of her and they're congratulating her. And she's like, no, you need to dress like a proper lady and be like a proper lady and do your hair like a proper lady, because what if you meet a man?
Ugh, my god.
Yeah.
I get it, but also, why couldn't they have written a cool aunt for her?
Yeah. Like, and yes, I get, my mom and my uncle and my aunt still, every time, like, whenever my aunt and uncle come to our house, one of the first things they ask me is, do you have a boyfriend yet?
I just don't understand why that's people's priority. Like, it never crosses my mind when I greet someone to be like, so are you dating someone? Like, that's not even on my mind.
I don't understand why it is such a priority for everybody. Because, there's the spinsters who deserve to be alone, right? According to what, men have said.
Sciona, I'm sure, would love to be alone for the rest of her life if she got to work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I do feel very... She was like, I hate people and I don't want to be around them and I don't want to be dating. And, what was it that she said? I didn't work so hard so a man could put his name on it and benefit his sons. And I was like,
yeah.
Yes.
Fuck yes.
Yep.
Fuck
she
yes.
brings up in one of these chapters how there are women in their society that have done work and amazing work, and it gets put on the back burner because their husbands take the credit, or they have to do it under a man's name, she was like, that's not going to happen to me.
Yeah.
Like, I will not let that happen.
And that does, mirror our society where we have female authors who use ML instead of their actual names. Because
not calling out the author.
Because publishers say that, men are more likely to pick up a book when they can't tell if it's a female author.
Right.
I would have called out somebody else, her.
J.K. Rowling.
But I didn't want to mention her. So she goes to work. She can't find her office and manages to meet somebody who is nice enough to be like, I can show you.
Oh, Kwen.
Kwen, who's the janitor And I will say some of the, like, I know I'm hoping she's going to go through deconstruction.
She's gotta. She has to, or I will throw this book.
Just some of the things that she said, even in her head,
It's
just made me cringe. Like,
I was getting angry reading it. I was like, oh, I know that she's going to do better eventually, but it's pissing me off.
Oh, yeah. And it did remind me how I felt when I became friends with my first member of the LGBTQ community. I had certain ideas because that's how I was taught about what kind of people they were. And then as I got to know them, I was like, they aren't like this. Why are people telling me this? This makes no sense. And so I am hoping she does go on that journey of like, well, people tell me the Kwen are stinky and that they reproduce.
They brought the blight upon themselves.
Yeah, they brought the blight upon themselves, which how?
Yeah, how?
And they reproduce like rabbits or rats or whatever they want to say.
Ugh, I just hated it.
So yeah, it was really hard to read and I cringed, and I will give her credit for she did try, like she recognized in some of the things that she said that's not, that, you know, ooh, I can't say that, like that's rude and wrong. And
but you know what, I think what's frustrating about that is there are people like Sciona that think they're good people that think that way. You know what I mean? Like, they haven't done that process of deconstruction because they think, well, I won't treat them differently. I'm not racist. I'm not like homophobic. I'm not blah, 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 because I would never do that to somebody myself. But they still have those thoughts. That is still someone who is racist or homophobic.
Yes.
They just haven't faced that music for themselves.
Yeah.
And I will give the author credit. It's amazingly realistic. I mean, that's why I was getting upset reading it, is that even people who are not actively hurting others in their hatred, those people are also people that need deconstruction, that need to face what they're thinking and feeling. You know what I mean?
Yes. They do need to come to terms with, you know, microaggressions, and because they might not understand, I guess, that
even her calling him a janitor feels wrong. Like, I don't know. Like, I know I'm not the kind of person that's like, everything needs to be PC necessarily, but the way she talks down to Thomil when she's like, I can't have a janitor as my assistant, and not just a janitor, a Kwen janitor. And it would also be like, it's worse than like if you know, how Renthorn and the other mages are fucking with her because they're like, well, we can't assign a man to be her servant because that would be insulting to the man, you know, to work under a woman. So what's even below that? A Kwen. And so he's like, get the facilities guy, get the janitor guy. And it's like, everything about this is so frustrating.
Oh, yeah. And I will say this as somebody who has been the insult to somebody else.
Yeah.
Guys made a joke about, oh, well, you know, she likes you.
So many guys.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, like,
I
it's
was
funny
the
to
insult, and it is not a fun feeling. It is so demoralizing.
No. And poor Thomil has to stand there and fucking take it.
Yeah, and he can't even fight back because he is so dependent on these stupid people for not only himself, but most likely for his niece.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the part that's most frustrating for me for this wasn't even only about what she thought, but I feel like that, and kind of going back to what you said, Lily, with how people can think they're really good people and that I'm not this way.
Right.
And like, let's just say for argument's sake that you're not that way and that you would not even think those things.
Right.
However, if you can stand by and watch somebody else treat them that way without saying something, then that still makes you that way. And that was my issue, is that she did not, when they were treating him that way, she did not. And I get she's also in a precarious situation where she is also having to deal with that crap as well. But she in her mind didn't even think like this is not right. Or have something where she took up for him in some way.
And it's confusing because she is also in the same position as Thomil.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I've said it to my parents several times. Silence is implicit consent.
Mm-hmm. I've talked about this with coworkers before. It's like my own family. A lot of people, their own families will like to pretend because they're not being affected.
Yeah.
I don't understand that mentality. Or like women that don't fight for other women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, what? How do you not see what's happening in front of you? If Renthorn is talking down to you because you're a woman, why would you proliferate that cycle by doing the same thing and thinking less of Thomil? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
we could beat a dead horse, but I mean, it just was so infuriating.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's so there's something like 1 in 3 women are sexually assaulted. And it's, for me, somebody I know is, wants to forget that it ever happened to her and wants me to forget it because that's just the way the world is.
Ooh, I hate that. Hate that.
And she even points it out later whenever he says, you're going to do what you're going to do. And she was like, that's what they say to women. Boys will be boys. Just because the way the world is that way does not mean it is okay. Mm-hmm. You can acknowledge that it's wrong and try, if you don't strive to fix it, you are part of the problem.
Yeah. I think that this is, as upset as I am about the way that it plays out in these chapters, I think this is a fantastic setup for, what could come, because I think her learning about the Kwen and Thomil being a part of something as big as this project that Sciona is assigned to, which is making the barrier larger, making the barrier even better than it is.
Yes, so that they
I
can
think this is a great
have more
setup.
Space. Yes,
yeah.
Especially, it sets up a great growth path for her.
Yeah,
and a great flaw.
I also hate that when she comes to terms with the fact that she is going to have him as her assistant, she immediately goes, I can use him to show Renthorn that I am just as good as they are. You know what I mean? She wants to use Thomil. She doesn't want Thomil to be better, but that I'm sure that will come with time. I have faith in Sciona. I got faith in you, girl. I'm just frustrated with your current circumstances.
Yeah, her whole well, all you have to do is do what you're told. You can do that, right? And you can tell he was like, yeah, I can do what I'm told.
I did like the one point, though, that she made when she was kind of giving him, when he was basically like, I'm not qualified.
Yeah.
And she was like, when she says about the qualification, because he says, isn't that the level that's needed? And she said, only if you're assisting a mage who wants half his work done for him.
Yeah.
Which I kind of felt was maybe slightly a bit of a throwback to the recognition of DNA. When you had, I can't remember their names now, but they got credit.
Henrietta Lacks?
Do what?
Are you talking about Henrietta Lacks?
No. The two guys that basically, they were too fucking stupid to do any of the work themselves. So they had to steal a female colleague's work who had actually done the work and made the discovery. But then, again, they were too stupid to even understand her notes. So they had to use their own research assistants to explain it to them.
Oh, my God.
But then they got the Nobel for it.
Oh, my God.
And the recognition for it. Yeah.
What the fuck? So I did not know that.
When they said this, I was like, oh, I don't know. I did like that.
I mean, it is the case that, especially, I think, in research, that a lot of times students do work that gets published under a professor's name. I think that is a pretty common case. Maybe not anymore, but I know that's a problem. I'm sure there's plenty of other situations we don't even know of that's happened,
Yeah. And I will say this. she stays in her lab working until she can feel safe enough to go outside that she may not run into anybody. And she leaves only because she has to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I just could not help but flashback to Hidden Figures when she had to run across campus in order to go to the bathroom. And then the main guy was like, where do you disappear to for 45 minutes a day? And she loses it on him. And I was like, when Sciona runs into what's his name again? Renthorn in the library. Yeah. In the library, I was like, lose it on him. Come on.
Yeah,
Come
right?
on.
Let him have
You can
it.
do it.
I felt the same. Reading that there was no bathroom for women was so, like, spot on. You know what I mean? Like, this building wasn't even built with you in mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Not all, like, and I swear, there has to be more than one bathroom on this floor. There has to be. So when they accepted a woman into their ranks, they should have been like, this is the women's bathroom.
Mm-hmm, but they don't care about her, and they're not going to make exceptions for her.
Well, I think it's the point. I think they're hoping she'll drop out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're definitely trying to bully her out.
Absolutely sure that is exactly what their aim is.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why she couldn't be like, yeah, I went to the second floor because I had to go to the bathroom. Why is there I know this is off topic, but why is there such shame in that?
Yeah, I know, right? Tell him you had to pee, girl. Like, throw him off. Don't let him have the last word. If she said, I had to piss, can you imagine what he would be like, oh, it's so unladylike, but then so what?
Yeah. And I got fussed at one time because I answered the phone and my boss's boss asked for my boss. And I said, oh, she's in the bathroom. And they were like, don't say that.
What?
Is there a better excuse of why you can't talk to her other than like, if I said she's busy, is that a better excuse than
it's just
she's
silly.
In the bathroom?
Silly.
But anyway, yeah. And of course, he goes to the number one accusation that women get all the time, that she got there because she slept her way to the top.
Yep.
And
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was saying, it's just disgusting. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't take him any time to accuse her of that. And you know what I always think is funny? I don't think people should do this in every case, but I always think it's really funny when women who are just fed up are just like, yeah, maybe I did. What are you going to do about it? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want that for Sciona in this case because she worked her fucking ass off to get here, and I know that she wants that recognition. But sometimes I wish people would just be like, throw it back in their face and be like, and what now? Like, what are you going to do with that information?
My thing is why is it such an insult for a woman she slept her way to the top? But you also are sitting there going, okay, so now I think this man is willing to trade, willing to put somebody who doesn't belong in a position like this, where it's limited and it's a position of power, just for a little noogie.
It's a little noogie.
Well,
yeah.
I think what would have been better is perhaps if she had brought him to Brigham and said, you know, why don't you let him know what you think of his choosing skills, you know?
Yeah, honestly.
He certainly didn't accuse him of that to his face, so.
Oh, no, he won't say that to Brigham because, you know, but it's just shit like that always baffles me because it's like, you're actually kind of insulting yourself. You're insulting men for assuming that they can be that easily swayed. Like, are you serious?
And the fact that they don't see that as an insult is beyond ridiculous. I mean, merit should be the thing that matters, and it is. But that you think that a man would choose sex over merit. Although, I mean, they do have men choosing legacy over merit, so
it just tells me how easily you think men can be swayed is what it tells me. And don't even get me started on the idea that women's bodies are corrupt, because I could go on forever about that. It was part of my thesis. It was this this long-standing historical idea of women's bodies being places of corruption. That is a long-standing issue in history, and it's infuriating.
Yeah.
Anyway,
they also spout some bullshit about she's a political hire because, diversity is the problem here.
It's funny how fast he goes from, oh, used to do Springham to, actually, some people think you're a political hire, and actually, it could be this, and actually, you were hired for this reason, literally any reason.
Yeah, other than her talent.
Yeah.
And she calls him
grasping
on it.
at straws.
Yeah, she calls him on it, and he's immediately like, no need to get defensive. Like,
it was just a joke.
It was just a joke.
Yeah, it was a joke, you piece of shit. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I got to say about it.
Yeah. It was just a joke, guys. God. If you're going to be in this world, you have to be able to take a joke.
I know. Get a sense of humor.
Says the people that can't take a joke.
Imagine if she laughed in his face. Just saying.
Oh, he probably would have lost it. Talk about being defensive.
It wouldn't be a joke then.
But she goes back to her lab and she's like, okay, stop unpacking the books. We're doing this shit.
Yeah.
And it brought up a lot of questions. We learn about this other realm that they pull energy from, and I was like,
the other realm? Mm-hmm.
Does this other realm never run out of energy?
I had that thought as well.
Does taking the energy hurt this other realm?
Yeah.
Do other beings live in this other realm?
Yeah.
And I also had a thought of what if them taking energy is what is causing the blight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know that there's something corrupt going on about this institution based on, again, the blurb.
Mm-hmm.
So my first thought was they created the blight.
Yep. That's what I was thinking.
That whatever it is that they're doing, that the magic maybe that they're using, the way they're going about it is what's creating the blight.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense.
Well, think about it, too, because they made it sound like you're not supposed to really look at the other realm. You're not supposed to really pay attention to what you're seeing. And that could be why.
What?
Like in there, they talk about for the other realm that it's not meant for their eyes. It's not meant for, they don't have the capacity to take in, what they're seeing in the other realm. In other words, I feel like they're trying to keep them from really understanding what it is they are doing when they're taking that energy. So yeah, I agree. I feel like that the blight maybe is that energy they're taking.
Could be. Or something lashing out.
Yeah. What consequences on this other realm are happening that we don't know about because of what they are doing? And I feel like it's very egotistical for you to be like, oh, look, a new realm. I can take from it. And there will be no consequences whatsoever. I don't have to worry about it ever running out or the fact that, I might be hurting this world and it might die. And then what?
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like the book is heavily taking from themes of imperialism, colonialism, the Tirasens or Terrassians, I'm not sure. Terrassians? Tyranites?
I can't remember what they called themselves.
The people of Tehran. They speak down to the Kwen, who are from a different part of their world, and they have different accents, and they look different, but they seem similar. You know what I mean? The Kwen people are the working class. It just makes me think, my first thought was England versus Scotland or England versus Ireland. And then when you told me in the notes that they use Scottish accents for the Kwen, it kind of furthered that. I was like, oh, well, there you go. I didn't even know that. And then also the two different branches of their religion, the Leonites versus the, what's the other? I think it's something similar to her last name. Someone the first. What's her last name is Freynan. It's like Feyna or Freyna. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Can't remember. I do. You wrote Leonites call the other realm the garden, and Tirasans call it the bounty.
I think the two sides is the Tirasian side or Tirasan side and the Leonite side. And the Leonites call, like you said, the other realm the garden, which makes me think of the Garden of Eden. And then the Tirasans call it the bounty, but the Tirasians, I think I'm fucking that up. The Tirasians call it the bounty, and they said that the bounty was created for them to take from. But the Leonites believe that the garden is there, and it wasn't created for them, it was just opened.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, they talked about the other realm being like this godly realm.
Yeah.
And so for the Leonites, it was like, this is God's place that he allows.
Right.
And the other, the other group believes this was created for us by God.
And she is a follower of the Leonite branch, which is the original one, or at least it seems to be the older one, right?
Yeah.
Leonite was one of the first to write down whatever his writings were. And then the Tirasians came after. It very much made me think of Catholicism and Protestantism. I was just immediately like, oh, so the Protestants are the new ones. And the,
Yeah, the Leonites also, I believe they said that they were literalist. If Leon, like if he wrote it, that's the truth. There's no interpretation,
right?
And no like Book of Matthew or
right. I think it's great. She does a really good job pulling from real religions to make her version of what this religion is. And I think she's done a really good job, actually.
Yeah, it's a very intricate world.
It is.
We have religion, we have different peoples, we have magic. The world building, especially in just 5 chapters, is quite exceptional.
I totally agree.
All right.
We got to talk about the bar.
Okay, so after they've been working on this thing, and I think it's a little insulting, to be honest, that she's so surprised that he's able to comprehend.
Yeah, it is.
And it is part of her unlearning what the Tiranites, whatever they're called, have taught her whole life. And so they find out that the other new guy is being taken out for drinks. And so Thomil does this really nice thing, and he's like, why don't I take you out for a drink? Because somebody ought to.
Which is very sweet and thoughtful, except she considers it an insult because he's a Kwen.
I think, to be fair, I think she emphasized more the janitor in that passage.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I just remember her being like, it is very nice of him to offer it, although it should be considered an insult, but I appreciate that he offered it.
She was like, I don't need anybody pitying me.
Right.
But she did mention, that he was a Kwen. But for me, it felt like she more emphasized, and it could be the audiobook, that
I
the
just might be remembering wrong
part of it more.
Yeah.
She takes off her robe.
Oh, yeah. But she takes off her robe before they go to the bar.
Yeah, I totally thought she was going to get locked out of the office and have to, stay at his house. Because she needs that metal badge to get back in, and I thought it was on the white robe, so...
That's a great point. I feel like that's an oversight, actually.
Yeah, I was like, you might not want to leave that behind.
Yeah. That's a good point.
But yeah, so they go to...
Maybe he can get in. Maybe he can get in because he works there.
That is true. He should have one as well. But they do go to this bar, this Kwen-owned bar, and she meets the bartender, who is super nice. But I did think it was interesting that she made a point for him to be like, do you speak and read my language? And yet, and speaking as an American, we suck at learning second languages. And I know little bits of several different languages, but I can't speak fluently in anything but English. So I'm one to talk. But the fact that she knew nothing about his language at all.
Yeah.
And she said
and she's not trying to learn either.
Yeah, she's not even trying to learn. But she said that she went to bars like this because of her social status. So
right.
You would think that if you were around the Kwen, you would at least try.
Yeah, or at least know a couple of them.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, even just being around Spanish-speaking people, I've been able to pick up Spanish words. Just listening to, lives for K-pop artists, I've been able to pick up
you can
certain
pick up stuff.
Korean words.
Yeah.
But I don't think she's interested in that. I think she sees that as beneath her.
Yes.
And it doesn't help her further her career, therefore it's not important.
Yep.
Yeah. Needs to be part of her deconstruction. But I hope that she spends time in this bar because, the bartender seemed really nice and really opening. And I hope that she gets to know Thomil and, the bartender. And Kara, I still feel like I'm getting that wrong. And
feels like it should be Kara or something. Kira. But yeah, and once they found out that, what she achieved, they were like, oh, it's on the house.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, girl, you need to be nice to these people.
Yeah, like they're treating you like one of them.
Like a human being.
They're treating you with respect and, congratulating you. You could do a little better.
Better than any of the tyrannites or whatever have ever treated her, including her own family. They've given her respect. Thomil is surprised that she's the first.
Yeah.
For him, it was kind of like, why are you, like,
yeah,
why is this?
I do love that he's like, you have to call me Thomil, though. If you want me to call you Sciona, you have to call me Thomil.
Tommy was getting on my fucking nerves.
I was wondering, I was like, that has to be a name they've given him because they refused to say his name correctly or something. Yeah, that's a microaggression, babe.
Yeah, it's the Tyrannite version of his name.
The tyrannization, I think, is what he said.
Something like that.
When I said it out loud, I was like telling Johan about it. I was like, tyrannization, and he was like, what? But yeah, it's like the Romanized version of the name, It's like
the English version.
Yeah. I'm glad that he was like, call me Thomil. I mean, it's cute when they're walking out of the bar and she's sloshed and he's like...
She's totally gone.
He's being so respectful and nice to her. He's like, why don't you show me that later? She's like pulling like stuff out of her belt that could create magic or like detonate or like
she's like
set off smoke.
This isn't even the dangerous one. The dangerous ones are on my belt.
Yeah. And he's like, okay. And he like grabs it and like very gently puts it back in her belt.
Like, let's put that away, sweetie. You are sloshed.
I do want to know, so Thomil at the beginning of this section, he's 20 in chapter 1. There's obviously been a time skip. How long has this time skip been? Are they the same age? Because she's 27.
Yeah, I would like to know that as well.
I just want to know.
I'm hoping for some more background on him and the way his life's been. And from the blurb, we do know that he blames the people in the city. I'm just like, screw however you say it.
Whatever.
The people in the city for what happened to his tribe. So does he have proof? Is there like some reason why this is happening? I want to know more about his background and what his mission is.
Yeah. I think he's going to be such an asset to her in her coming up with this spell that she can present, to the archmages. I think that he's going to have some kind of insight that she won't get from Tyrannites or the people that she's been around her whole life.
Yes.
Because he is a Kwen. And I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I'm excited to find out about with the blight, with how that works, with the magic that they're pulling, and kind of all these little breadcrumbs that I feel like the author has kind of left. I mean, I've got some ideas of what I think is happening, and I'm I'm excited to see that play out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anything else?
There's so much I'm excited to get into.
Yeah, I'm excited, like, as much as, we did have these 5 chapters and we got action at the beginning. I'm just excited for the story to move forward.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Me too.
All right. Well, I guess we'll end there. We hope that you'll join us for next week's episode. We'll be discussing Blood Over Bright Haven chapters 6 through 12. New episodes drop each week, and don't forget to check out last season's discussion on the Bride duology, available now.
Please remember to like, subscribe, and follow us on social media. That like and follow are super important for us to continue to bring you new episodes each week, so please, please, please do so. You can also support us by joining us on Patreon. Thank you for listening to the Midnight Readers podcast. We'll see you next week.
Happy reading, listeners. Don't stay up too late.